Mind-Body Relationship, where we talk about the mind, the body, and the relationship. My name is Emerald Hill, and this is Dr. Laurie Ponsford Hill.
Well, hi, Emerald. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Good. Today I thought we'd check out to see how susceptible you are to suggestion.
Uh-oh.
It's so interesting, because some people are actually really very suggestible, right? Because, and that's what it is that people who are salesmen use to their advantage.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or fake news.
Or fake news. So true, right? And I mean, it's a part of the process in regards to hypnosis, right? Because everyone is actually really suggestible.
Right.
And some people are just happen to be way more suggestible to others.
Okay.
And the truth is, when you were sitting and watching TV, you are in a place of suggestibility.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why it is that commercials work so well.
Right.
Because you're in essence very calm, relaxed. You are in the in-between space between being fully awake and not actually really being, asleep. And so in that calm kind of state, what happens is that whatever it is that's going on in TV, and of course with TV, right, you've got that flickering sort of feeling as well, you know. And so that's why it is that commercials can actually really land on you, and the next thing you know, the next time you're at the store, you're buying that product.
Right, like a moth to a flame.
Exactly. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just close your eyes and relax. I'd like you to put your hands out in front of you, just like this. Beautiful. And so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just imagine, right? Just imagine that in this hand, what I've done, and we're going to turn your hand over, is that I've placed a very, very heavy book.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, and then in this hand, what it is I've done is I've just tied a cord to your hand, and on this one is a helium balloon.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the helium balloon is actually really, really light, and it's actually really tugging upward. So just imagine yourself with a helium balloon, and it's actually really tugging your hand up and up and up and up, and then on your left hand, that book is weighted and it's very, very heavy.
Okay.
And it's a giant book, and it's so weighted and so heavy that it's almost impossible to keep your hand up because it's just weighing so much. And on your other hand, that helium balloon that's tied around is so light. And just imagine that helium balloon is now pulling your right hand higher and higher, up and up and up, and your left hand is so heavy and so weighted that it's almost impossible for you to keep your left hand up, and so you feel that your left hand is just starting to drop down further and further and further, and it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and near impossible to hold up. And so your left arm is just stressed and heavy, and your right arm is light and airy and lifting higher and higher and higher. And how are you feeling?
Tired.
Oh. You feel that your left arm is really getting heavy, and it's very, very hard to hold it up, and you just want to let it actually really start to relax and lower down. And so just go with that feeling and start to just let that book, because you don't need to hold that book up so much anymore. Just let it go down further and further. In your right hand, just let it follow that balloon up higher and higher, so that you can actually really rest your arms and not have to work against them. There you go. Just have a look at your hands. How do they feel?
Oh, they kind of hurt at this point. This one's definitely lower than this one.
Yeah. Does it feel like it was actually really heavy and needing to go lower? And the right one, how did it feel?
It felt like it wanted to stay there. I didn't feel like I wanted to like raise it or anything.
No, not really out of the way there.
No.
No. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. What do you think about the power of suggestibility?
Well, I think it's interesting. I think that it's one of those things where it's like you have to be able to allow yourself to be suggested to. You always run into that person who is like, oh, let me play this game with you because it's really cool. And like they're just like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm, you know, like if you go to that, like a playground, and you're like, oh, let me play this game with you, and people are like, oh my god, and you always run into that person that's just like, well, I'm just going to keep my arms here no matter what you say, because the truth is I don't want it to work, you know?
Yeah, so true. Yeah. And what were you thinking to yourself as it was that we were doing that?
Well, firstly, I was thinking like, I could lower my arm, but I want to see what my body does, even though that I can feel that I'm getting really tired, like my arms are getting tired.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so you were prepared. Yeah, so I mean, everybody's very, very different, right, in regards to that ability, and you know, and that's when it is that, you know, the power of suggestibility really, really works. Is when it is that you are actually really tired, right? You don't have that ability to work against it because you're in that in-between place, that state where it is that you're not, you know, fully awake, fully fighting, fully, you know, thinking.
I think there's also an implication when you say, are you suggestible? It's also kind of a negative connotation.
Oh.
You know, because it's like, oh, you know, you're saying that I could easily be under somebody else's influence.
Yeah, so true. Yep, so totally true. Yeah. Well, and you know, it is really good to think about that, right? So when it is that you go to the grocery store, are you going to the grocery store in a state where it is that you are totally in control and thinking? Or are you going to the grocery store in a state where you're actually really susceptible to buying the products you don't want to be buying?
Right, that's why they tell you to not go to the grocery store when you're hungry.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Right? So it's really good to think about that, because when it is that you're tired, you're not fully present, that's when it is you have a tendency to fall into those places and do those things or buy those things that you don't actually really necessarily need.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for talking to me about suggestibility. Did
Ah.
you find me highly suggestible?
Well, I was expecting this. Yeah. It's like, come on, go with me.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Actually, I was expecting a yawn.
Maybe there's one hidden in the footage somewhere. We don't know. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Laurie, for talking to me about suggestibility, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you have an experience where you felt like you were under the influence of suggestibility, please comment it down below. We would love to read about it. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, stay subscribed, and join us next time.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.